Hello, hello again. Are you ready for one more grammar lesson? I am. So past perfect this time. So let's take a look at the form. How do we form past perfect? So when it comes to irregular verbs, we use had. Remember, all perfect tenses need have a form of the verb have. Because this is past perfect, we need the past form of the verb have, which is had. So we need had and the past participle of regular verbs, that is very easy to form. We just add an ed. So the past perfect of dance is had danced. On the other hand, when it comes to the irregular verbs, for once more, we use had. Remember, it's a perfect tense. And then the past participle of irregular verbs that we find in the third column of the irregular verbs list. If you Google it on the internet, you will find 100 irregular verb lists, right? So practically, go, went, gone. This is the past participle of the irregular verb go. Eat, ate, eaten. Wear, wore, worn, and so on. So here my example is the verb eat. So I need had and the past participle of the verb eat, that is eat, ate, eaten. So had eaten. Now here, okay, this is too easy, but I thought it would be positive to show you a card with a form. What I would like to stress is that the past participle, no matter if my sentence is affirmative, interrogative, or negative, the past participle doesn't move, it remains there. So what regulates things is had. I had I had not, and the past participle. So I had danced, had I danced, I had not, or hadn't danced. Here we also see the short form of had not, right? Or he had danced, had he danced, he had not or hadn't danced. Let's get to the use. Let's read the first rule. Past perfect can rarely stand alone in a sentence, right? Next to it, there is another verb, a second action, because remember, each verb is an action. So I have one verb in past perfect, one action. According to this rule, another verb in past simple, so a second action. So the second action will be in past simple. So here we see past perfect and past simple working together, and this is very common, right? If there is no second verb in past simple, pay attention to that, there is the idea of a second action. So if we analyze a bit this rule before we move forward to the examples, I want to say the following, that to use past perfect, there must be usually two past actions. The first action that happened, not the first in the sentence, the action that happened first is expressed in past perfect, and the other that followed, the second action, in past simple. Let's check the examples. Tom had already cooked, so that was a finished action, the food when we arrived. So first he cooked, action one in past perfect, had cooked. Then we arrived, action two in past simple. Let's observe carefully the second example here. We had already finished before the incident. There is no second verb here. There is no past simple. What on earth is what we said up here? There is the idea of a second action. The incident is a second action, an action that followed because we had finished first, right? And then the incident took place. So I don't know what the incident was, but I know that an action followed, a second action followed the first. This is why we see this past perfect there. We had already finished. The second box here describes what I just told you. So the past action that happened first is expressed in past perfect, while the one that happened second is expressed in past simple. So we had just finished eating, when Helen entered the room. Action number one is here, had finished eating. First, we finished eating. So past perfect. And action number two, Helen entered the room. Second action, so past simple. First action in past perfect, second action in past simple. Now, the keywords that are not magic, they follow the same logic. After is one of the keywords because after the first action, the second action follows. This is why after the first action, remember action number one in past perfect, the second action follows. Remember action number two in past simple. So after the kids had slept, so first they slept, the parents watched TV. First action in past perfect, second action in past simple. If I use before is the opposite of after. So before the second action, the first action took place. So before the parents watched TV, second action, past simple. First, the kids, action one, had already slept. The same, these two groups of keywords are the same, it's the same logic. Happens with words like by the time, when, they're followed by past simple and then past perfect. By the time we left, Tom had already arrived. So first Tom arrived already, and then we left. So these are three groups of keywords that for once more stress the idea of the first action that is expressed in past perfect and the second that is expressed in past simple. However, some present perfect keywords, watch the link to revise present perfect in the description box. There is a link to see also to see how we use these keywords. But some present perfect keywords are also past perfect keywords. The only difference is that this time they refer to the past. So the keywords already that I kept using throughout my examples on this video, just, ever, never, yet, all of them, we saw them as keywords of present perfect. Watch the video. But they serve as keywords finally of both present perfect and past perfect. For example, he had just come, first he came, when we arrived, then we arrived. So just, that is a keyword of past perfect, again stresses the same idea that the first action happened, had come, past perfect, and then another followed. Yet, we went to see him, but he hadn't finished yet, right? And he had never tried sushi up to that moment. That up to that moment is the idea of a second action, if you remember. So, guys, that's all about past perfect. Always, if you want to have a complete understanding of the lessons we are analyzing here, it's a very good idea every time to watch the videos, to watch the links also, because they present related grammar phenomena that will help you understand thoroughly English grammar. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.